Consider that the sword isn't just a weapon, but a path to mastery, balance, and self-realization. From corporate boardrooms to mystical circles, the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi continues to shape minds across disciplines. In this review, we'll explore the wisdom of the blade, not just as combat, but as spiritual strategy. Welcome to Rodney Illustrations, the place where art, mysticism, and esoteric insight collide in full color. Let's cut deep and draw meaning from the blade.
To understand the world, you must first know yourself. But how do we discern what is real? Embark on this journey to discover more about your real potential. Uncover the mystery in the tarot.
Written in 1645 by legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, the Book of Five Rings is more than a martial arts manual. It's a philosophy of life, battle, and personal excellence. Structured around five elemental books: earth, water, fire, wind, and void, it mirrors the Buddhist Kodai and echoes systems from Western alchemy to Taoist cosmology. It is also revered by business leaders for its insights into timing, adaptability, and strategy. Just as the 10,000-hour rule emphasizes relentless discipline, Musashi offers a blueprint for mastery forged in the fire of experience. In the Book of Five Rings, Miyamoto Musashi structures his teachings around the Godai, or the five elements of Japanese philosophy: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. These are not merely physical substances, but metaphorical dimensions of existence and consciousness. Earth represents foundation, stability, and grounding, what is solid and dependable. Water symbolizes adaptability and fluid intelligence, responding to challenges by flowing around them. Fire captures the spirit of aggression, energy, and decisive action. Wind refers to knowledge of others' styles, learning from and understanding external perspectives. Finally, void, or emptiness, denotes the ineffable, intuition, spiritual clarity, and the space beyond thought. It is where mastery transcends from. From the Book of Earth, The Way of Strategy, a man cannot understand the perfection and imperfection of his chosen art if he cannot see the value in other arts. Following rules only permits development up to a point in technique. To advance further, the student and artist must learn and seek other knowledge. It makes sense to study other arts, as well as those of strategy. The Book of Earth lays the foundation. Know the path, know the battlefield, and above all, know yourself. Strategy is not style, it's clarity. The Book of Earth concludes with 9 points to consider. 1. Think honestly within yourself in your dealings with all men. 2. Constant training is the only way to learn strategy. 3. Become familiar with every art you come across. 4. Understand the way of other disciplines. 5. Know the difference between right and wrong in the matters of men. 6. Strive for inner judgment and an understanding of everything. 7. See that which cannot be seen. 8. Overlook nothing, regardless of its insignificance. 9. Do not waste time idling or thinking after you have set your goals. Commencing the Book of Water, these are Musashi's thoughts. In the Book of Water, the entire strategy of my two-sword school is revealed. You should think each thing through completely and not simply gloss over words. It is important to understand what you're reading and studying. Should you approach a concept that you do not understand, it would be foolish if you are making the warrior way your lifestyle to continue on. When I say that language is limited in certain respects, it should be understood that while information may be evident, knowledge is not necessarily obvious. There are hidden meanings, not to be confused with non-understandable things. That must be thought through constantly until you reach an understanding. The Book of Water teaches adaptability. Like water, the master moves with ease between disciplines. Musashi emphasizes balance, spiritual presence, and perceptual acuity, even noting the importance of reading body language and energy. Miyamoto Musashi's philosophical thoughts from the Book of Fire. Would-be warriors who use only the raiment of their profession and brag through their motions do not understand strategy. They overlook the all-important aspect of spirit, thinking that it will come to them without additional work. To release the spirit, one must accentuate work with meditations of the heart and the soul. Not doing so is the same as performing music note for note with no emphasis on the feeling of the particular piece being performed. The Book of Fire brings heat and action. Here we learn about exploiting timing, terrain, and psychological warfare. It is not brute force, but precision. Miyamoto Musashi's thoughts from the Book of Wind. Fighting from a distance without the advantage of strategy prevents the warrior from becoming one with his true self. Certainly, it is advantageous to have the edge in distance or speed, but without proper understanding of strategy, these so-called advantages become weapons that can be used against you. If you truly understand strategy, then you simply do not need advantages as such. You cannot rely on your weapons alone, though you must be able to wield them thoroughly, applying their nature with the correct execution and form. Your resolve must be intense, and your courage steadfast. You must go into the attack in order to win the fight. This is the way. The Book of Wind critiques other schools of thought. It's a reminder to study your rivals, not just to imitate, but to sharpen your own blade of insight. Miyamoto Musashi's thoughts from the Book of No Thing. There is virtue in the universe, but it should not be confused with good and evil. Wisdom exists, principles exist, and the way of the warrior exists. But spirit is no-thingness. The Book of Void is the most esoteric. Here, Musashi speaks of formlessness, spirit, and intuition. By knowing things that exist, you can know that which does not exist. This is Zen. This is magic. Perfection is all there is, and when you come to realize this, you will have understood my way of strategy and the way of the warrior, at which time you can forget about it and just be it. Best to have put it this way, simply be. You are the spirit of the thing itself. While the Godai bears some resemblance to the Chinese wuxing, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, its purpose and metaphysical orientation differ somewhat. The Godai shares a closer affinity with the classical Greek elements of earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Like the Greek model, the Godai places emphasis on metaphysical introspection and the alignment of one's inner nature with external reality, culminating in void, ether, as the transcendent force that connects all planes of existence. Let's widen the lens. In both Eastern and Western mystical systems, the elements form a sacred pentagram: earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. Whether it's Hindu tattvas, Taoist phrases, or the 5 wounds of Christ, the symbolism is clear. Balance leads to transcendence. And in tarot, the 4 suits, pentacles, cups, wands, swords, represent worldly forces, but the major arcana, that's spirit. That's void, Musashi's final book. These 5 rings aren't just about combat, they're stages of transformation. Musashi's void is tarot's fool, the beginning and the end, the unformed potential. Today, the Book of 5 Rings is used by strategists in finance, design, military leadership, even startups. The emphasis on flexibility, timing, and perception is universal. Musashi's principle, From one thing, know 10,000 things. Mastery in one field sharpens vision in all others. Just like a martial artist becomes a better artist, thinker, or leader. So whether you're a leader, artist, mystic, or strategist, Musashi's lessons remain relevant. Train beyond style. Be fluid. Perceive deeply. Know timing. Embrace the unknown. In the blade of the sword, we see reflections, and in it, we see not just the opponent, but the self, the spirit, and the silence between strikes. If you found this perspective helpful, mystical, or mind-expanding, drop a like, subscribe, and share your favorite quote from Musashi below. Until next time, sharpen the sword, study the signs, and walk the path.
To understand the world, you must first know yourself. But how do we discern what is real? Embark on this journey to discover more about your real potential. Uncover the mystery in the tarot